Hello everyone, we are back again today to meet with you and discuss our latest thoughts on new developments regarding the Hong Kong stock market, the US stock market, and the global market overall. We will address each topic one by one, so if you have any questions or insights, please feel free to share them with us. Your participation is greatly appreciated and will enhance our discussion. We look forward to an engaging conversation.
If you have any questions or would like to discuss a specific topic, you are welcome to utilize the message board at any time. Please do not hesitate to leave a message, and we can engage in a discussion with everyone regarding the current happenings in the market, as well as any issues that may require everyone's attention or input. Today, we need to have an important discussion regarding our overall behavior. The price, as observed, appeared to have increased by a few dollars this morning, but this change was quickly absorbed by the market. Regarding the bill for today, it remained at a substantial amount of 22,008, which is indeed quite a significant figure. The score has been upgraded by 2 places to 36 points, so it definitely counts as an upgrade, not a non-upgrade. Wow, the total market turnover is 177.6 billion, which is a lot, but I think it is better than I expected. Well, because it's the May Day Golden Week holiday, everyone is aware of it and its significance. In fact, there are only 2 days left.
The holiday is not yet started, boss.
But these people have already begun to have no intention of investing money in speculation.
I'm possibly too depressed to work.
Oh, I struggle with depression, yet I truly love my job and find great fulfillment in it. But domestically, I don't know about my colleagues in China, but the atmosphere in China is already quite strong, right? Yes, that is, I don't know us and I don't know, yes, I'm talking about my friend, ha ha ha, my friend. Okay, yes, they have already said so. Where is the May Day Golden Week? But it turns out that I had 3 meetings today and I didn't do it, haha. I'm very busy. Today I'm very busy. We're looking for some information manuals. Oh, but it seems that they decided to postpone it until May 5th and then they returned to work on May 6th. I thought the May Day Golden Week lasted over 10 days, but it's already over. What happened?
Golden Week is no longer happening. What's wrong? When exactly did all of this begin? 10 years ago.
What is it? And so on and so on.
This year marks the 25th anniversary? Okay, that's it.
Yes, I clearly recall being a reporter for New Media during that time.
So 2, yes. The May Day Golden Week lasts until May 6th, after which we have to return to work. As for the market atmosphere, I would say it is much better than I imagined because there are still at least 170 billion in transactions. But if we look at the trend of the Hang Seng Index, for example, we can see that the gap has only been half filled.
Should I take some sunscreen? Actually, I am curious about why this happens. What are everyone's expectations?
I hope that I can replenish it, and then I can watch it again after eating.
The more you eat, the less straightforward it becomes to replenish, and you will exceed it.
Yes, because technically speaking, the gap in price can act as either a resistance level or a support level in trading.
An upward gap functions as a support level, whereas a downward gap acts as a resistance level in trading.
Yes. As a form of resistance, it is certainly not so easy to break through this barrier. You need considerably more momentum, and interestingly, the upper limit of this gap coincidentally aligns with the 50-day moving average. Yes, there are indeed several obstacles present here, but the bigger issue is that everyone seems to be merely waiting and observing. You really don't need to discuss it this week. There are no significant revelations because you can take a break during the lengthy vacation.
Oh, and there are a lot of US data this week. There will be some financial reports from the US soon. But this will have a greater impact on the US. It's hard to sort it out. The Hong Kong stock market is starting to follow. Well, as long as the Hong Kong stock market follows, it's the rhythm of the market.
Especially the latest news regarding a trade war or tariff war can significantly impact the overall sentiment surrounding the automotive industry.
However, everyone is quite aware that the overall trend is predominantly moving in a downward direction. No one is brave enough to tell you that there are no signs of a resolution to the trade war. In fact, it will only get more and more intense. But, of course, there are some, and occasionally there are some interpretations, such as the recent interpretation that McDonald's is trying to make concessions. Well, there are a lot of them now, and I want to interpret them. But if you see a trend, the simplest way is to look at broadcasting. Broadcasting is very important. It means that if there are 2 aircraft manufacturers in the world, they can really make some large aircraft that can fly all over the world.
You can create it all by yourself, and you can transform it into an airplane indeed. Neither the human nor the piano is part of the assembled aircraft. Hey, actually, it's a Boeing design bus.
Well, as you all know, the major Chinese airlines are state-owned enterprises, but they surprisingly refuse to take over the management of their aircraft, yes.
What impact will it have on you?
First and foremost, someone has indeed placed an order for it. To clarify, you need to formally submit an order. You own a plane valued in billions, so why point fingers at others?
Unfortunately, the money you paid is strictly non-refundable.
You can return the machine, but it was ordered for you.
But for BOEM, there is actually no loss because there are actually a lot of people who want the planes. Their orders are lined up. In fact, some of the planes have not even started to be built. They are just orders. We don't care, but if it's an order, I will do it anyway. The first and second thing is that you have the plane you want.
If the situation continues to decline, we won't get orders. This is the attitude of China's general state-owned enterprises towards American companies.
Well, in fact, your relationship is definitely getting worse and worse, and the trade between China and the United States will become less and less. So you have become us. Of course, we can see that there are two major areas of damage.
Well, if you take a closer look at the current situation in China, the challenges they are facing can actually be quite serious. Yes, China itself has said that the United States alone accounts for 1/5 of the world's trade volume. Well, 20% is not a small amount, and other countries are not unaffected by it. The supply chain is very long. If China enters the global supply chain, you can get rid of it. In fact, you will have some scars.
Because you have successfully managed to survive for the past 40 years by either being an integral part of a supply chain or by dominating that supply chain effectively.
Well, the current situation we are facing is indeed very serious and concerning. In fact, the specific topic you discussed is closely related to this issue. I want to talk to you about it because I'm unsure if you have seen any recent news concerning Walmart. It has come to my attention that the tax on the frontline channels has been significantly increased by a staggering 140.5%, which is quite alarming. The tariffs that were imposed by the United States on China were established by the United States before they escalated to a significant level of 145%. I previously mentioned this situation at the outset, referencing events that occurred approximately 120 years ago. If my memory serves me correctly, Walmart had already engaged in discussions with its Chinese suppliers regarding this particular tariff situation on our behalf. We won't trouble China, so you guys should do it yourself.
Okay, I'll follow me and buy you a more expensive one.
It's amusing I can't understand the pattern, and the quantity of items varies as well. But he had already said at the time that we would not give it to you anyway. So Walmart said to the factory on March 11 that it would lose money on you. You are so stupid. The Chinese suppliers have been asked to absorb the additional tariffs. If they refuse, cooperation will end. Without compliance, there will be no partnership. Consume Chinese cuisine to ease fears.
He's not afraid of you, he just can't cooperate, so why lose money?
Yeah.
How can I go about paying the customs duties on your cash payment? Yes, you know that the cash flow generated by a factory is not always that abundant or plentiful. Yes, I want to collect your money, so I need to find the order from the supplier first.
Yes, you are still asking me to impose tariffs, and I don't know how to find anything for you to impose. But they just ignored it. Later, when the tariff was increased to 145, this line of things made Walmart feel so stressed that it had never been like this before. It turns out that it has inventory pressure. Therefore, the volume of their products made in China and imported from China has declined rapidly. That's precisely what has occurred. For instance, in categories such as toys and clothing, the vacancy rate of supermarket shelves across the United States has soared to an alarming 30%, as consumers have already cleared these items off the shelves. Indeed, that is correct. Before you imposed tariffs, this whole thing seemed to have shown that your tariff policy was exposing the fact that the U.S. supply chain was actually very fragile and very dependent on China. Let's talk about this. However, at the same time, I would like to ask you for your thoughts on why they are considering adding this tariff. In other words, it seems that the entire supply chain and manufacturing process would need to be relocated back to the United States. Yes, I truly believe that this situation is such that I don't foresee anyone reversing their decisions in the next 5, 6, or even 8 years, primarily because there is a significant lack of individuals entering the manufacturing industry within the United States.
Yes, but actually, you and I say that moving back to the United States does not mean that the lower class or grassroots employees and workers in the United States will go there to make money. It's not that. You and I say that it's just the heavy industry of automobile manufacturing. There is a supply chain that still exists, but you say that they should go there.
Crazy Christmas tree. I have never been to the United States because I want to say that when I saw this incident, they said that, in fact, in the United States, although their production capacity really cannot make up for the gap, but in fact, they have tried their best. That is, those factories just say that they have to use VD technology. While technology may not fully compensate for China's supply chain, there's little you can do about it right now. You must prioritize obtaining essential items first. How will you manage with plastic products?
What do you want? Free printable Christmas tree coming out? No, it's not just your cosplay issue. This is a broader cosplay problem affecting everyone. Yes, you wouldn't use something so high-tech to do something so low-tech. You might as well consider traveling to Haiti, although it is actually located in the Caribbean, not Eastern Europe. Even Mexico actively seeking workers would prefer to maintain this approach.
The actual cost stems from their trip to Eastern Europe, which differs significantly from Northern Europe despite both regions being good options.
All are tall.
Hey, that's what you said. If you look at the supply side, look at what the goods are actually.
Well, there are indeed numerous items in this world that originate from Eastern Europe. However, to be completely honest, many products manufactured in various Eastern European countries are now labeled as made in Europe. In some cases, these items undergo several production processes before being packaged and finalized in Germany, which can sometimes obscure their actual origin. This practice impacts how consumers perceive the quality and origin of these goods.
It has become Germany. Has it become in Germany or in Europe? Actually, it's EU. I don't even know which country it is. The main thing is, I don't know. Yes.
It's like some car manufacturers selling cars. Hey, let's talk about you in Hong Kong. They tell you that what we are talking about now are all assembled in Europe.
Hey, make sure to follow him. He is specifically discussing a particular automotive brand. You see, this brand has successfully penetrated the Chinese market with gasoline cars, not electric ones. They aim to instill a sense of confidence in consumers, but if you have a deeper understanding of the complex automotive supply chain, you might not feel as assured or confident in their claims.
Well, it's important to note that some specific automotive supply chain channels are actually produced in various regions across Europe, including countries like Turkey, Spain, and Poland, as well as in Mexico and Central America. You've attempted this once more, and the outcome is truly disappointing. You have no desire to engage with me at all. No, I simply want to understand how it really is.
Yes, indeed, many cars are manufactured in Mexico. Additionally, a significant number of mid-range motorcycles, for instance, are produced in various countries across South Asia, showcasing the global nature of vehicle manufacturing.
Absolutely, yes. That includes both Thailand and India.
Are mid-range fitness bikes like Yamaha all made in Japan?
Yamaha's mid-range models or mid to low-range models, yes, I don't know if you are familiar with them, but the 300cc electric motorcycles are all made in Thailand. Oh, almost all of them, that is. The Panda models you see on the streets are all made in Thailand. Well, the new ones of those size 20 shoes are all made in Thailand, and the ones in between are mostly half and half. Some are made in Thailand and some are made in Japan.
But as far as the supply chain is concerned, most of it comes from Thailand.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Hey, if we're discussing Kandara, I should also mention that alongside Thailand, there is India as an important player in this context. If I recall accurately, several British brands operate numerous factories in both Thailand and India. This highlights how globalized these operations truly are. Indeed, the topics you brought up regarding cars are actively discussed today, but unfortunately, they remain entirely unimplemented for now.
Certainly. Here's the expanded text. Yes, that is to say, at this moment, we are discussing a topic closely related to current news events. Reports indicate that it is anticipated the US president will take steps to reduce the tariffs imposed on automobile parts. To clarify, the adjustments to these tariffs on automobile parts are expected to be modified soon, which could have significant implications for the automotive industry. They mentioned that to effectively prevent the influx of foreign-made cars into the market, they need to continue imposing various tariffs, indicating there are multiple tariffs in place, not just one. Take the automobile manufacturing industry, for example. It is possible that the added tariffs will increase the manufacturing cost of the channels. Therefore, the US president may alleviate some of the pressure and will not be too serious about it. What about the parts in automobile manufacturing? In fact, in the millennium, it is the interior decoration today. In fact, there is a noticeable increase in the stock price following this positive news announcement. But to be honest, if the government doesn't announce it, we should actually wait until tomorrow because the White House officials will speak on Tuesday. On Tuesday, the government will have the opportunity to pass a bill to reduce some tariffs on external parts of domestically produced automobiles. What about that? Let me see. Give me the information.
Actually, the main idea behind this measure is to give automakers sufficient time to transition the parts supply chain back to the United States, which could ultimately lead to a substantial boost for automakers in the short term, helping them adapt to changing market conditions and demands.
All right, well, let's carefully take a closer look at Nesset.
Hey 1316, let's take a closer look at Nestor's performance data together. I'd like to examine it thoroughly. If I recall correctly, where exactly are their primary customers located? 1316.
North America Department.
Hey, this is indeed the correct location. It should be the north latitude. There is absolutely nothing wrong with this information. I will read it aloud to all of you as we didn't type it out previously. Well, his turnover last year was about 4.2 billion for the company. If you only count North America, his turnover dropped by 30%, but it is still 2.193 billion, which means it is 2.2 billion, which is about 51% if you count all the numbers. In fact, North America serves as a highly significant and crucial source of income for various television channels.
The interior production primarily focuses on creating advanced steering systems, which are crucial and essential components of modern automobiles.
However, if you express all of these points, then your consensus on the implementation of the tariff measures is merely a factual observation, and you will ultimately not gain any advantages from their application or enforcement in practice. Well, because the United States is actively moving the supply chain back to its own territory, it still needs to collect tariffs on various imported parts and components. Well, okay, the point of your tariffs is that I can't use suppliers from China. I have to use suppliers in the United States unless Rosette puts those factories in the United States. Do you think that's possible? But the problem is, where are your raw materials? Customs duties are still required, so essentially you may not experience any significant benefits from it. It simply means you won't have to pay double taxes on your income.
Yes, so let me show you the picture I have prepared for you. There are 3 instances of the number 6, which I will now present to you. Okay, all 3 are quite terrible. In fact, prior to this, I observed that there has been a significant increase since April. You can clearly see the bottom line.
Hey, let's make an effort to come back. Yes. From this position you can see, but to be honest, the analysis is still going on. If you look at the hype, there is a relatively large resistance at 6 yuan from a technical point of view. From this position, there is 20% room for 6 yuan. There is room, but if you calculate the valuation, the current valuation is about 13 times. Auto stocks are about 10 times to PE. In fact, auto parts stocks generally have a high single-digit PE. Well, it's really not worth the trouble or concern. The actual news regarding Crown does not provide any substantial benefits to them. However, now everyone's interpretation focuses solely on the sensational headline, which states that the tariffs on auto parts will be revised, or there are discussions about changes related to auto tariffs.
This is very good for Rosette, as it puts Rosette in a more advantageous position overall.
In fact, apart from the Nashida, there is only one thing that matters today, and that is this 425. In fact, its overall value itself is not particularly high. 1.7% represents the maximum, which is 18.3 millimeters in size. Therefore, this one is also categorized within the millennium. So when comparing the two items, the differences in their qualities seem to be a bit more obvious. What are your thoughts on Minshi and its features?
We can examine the financial data for 425. Their income structure varies significantly from that of 1316 in North America, reflecting distinct market strategies and operational models. Additionally, their business relationship is comparatively less extensive, as we can analyze their activities more closely. It is not essential to categorize them strictly by region for our analysis. The channels use these products to divide their businesses.
The company's total turnover stands at an impressive NT$2031 billion. If you examine the data closely, you will see which specific business segments contribute the largest shares. Notably, both plastic parts and metal accessories individually account for over NT$5 billion each, collectively making up approximately half of the overall total revenue.
Plain parts and green parts are the parts that you imagine are easy to install on a car. These parts are actually closely related to the supply chain because the most important part of the channel is the injection molding. What can we say regarding the supply chain? That is to say, the area where the automobile factory is located and the accommodation is located in this area. It's quite uncommon for Chinese car manufacturing facilities to utilize German-made plastic components or American-sourced metal parts in their production processes. However, there is a possibility that alternative parts might be integrated. For instance, historically, an American vehicle would often be equipped with tires manufactured in Europe. But nowadays, most Chinese cars typically use tires that are manufactured in China. Yes. Because all the major European car manufacturers produce their tires in China. Yes, that's correct. You don't even know how to properly use a Malaysian tire now. Your plastic parts and metal components are essentially the same in terms of functionality, which is why his primary customers are predominantly Chinese automobile manufacturers. The specific tariff rate ultimately depends on the particular types of cars that are imported from China. Chinese cars cannot be imported into the United States.
Yes, Gary just said that how can American cars be defeated by mainland cars? So how can American cars be defeated by those university cars? He is talking about the President of the United States. How can American cars be defeated by yours? That is by our domestic cars. That's it.
Transport means transportation. Why transport it to us?
Are trams in the United States considered two different things?
When people mention Tesla, they immediately associate it with its prominence and significance in the automotive industry.
Oh, because Tesla strategically manages its supply chains in various locations around the world, including a significant presence in China.
Oh, that is to say it basically has no effect on him.
It doesn't have any impact, okay? In short, the cars he buys in the United States are not made in China.
The cars he makes in China are only supplied to China and Hong Kong.
Yes.
Hey, but we can do it. Since we are talking about Tesla, we might as well look at the stock price trend of Tesla. Do you have any ideas recently? In fact, it didn't buy that many. Haha, really? It's true, is it?
Yeah.
He believes that his performance is unrelated to the situation, including tariffs, and it truly has nothing to do with it.
The same channel is actually slowly being utilized now, and it doesn't need to be used as much anymore. Take a moment to look at the pictures and similar items. Do you think the atmosphere will become less tense, leading more people to repurchase? Those who once bought Teslas are now opting for alternatives.
But it's Elon Musk's current reputation. I don't know why the CEO wants to ask if his credit rating is the lowest in history. I read the news.
Well, just because the order has been placed, it certainly doesn't mean that he has decided to quit. Yes, if he were to quit now, would he still consider buying more stocks at a favorable price? Yes.
Everyone examines their model, unsure of its nature. It's their model chip, representing a normal car.
Oh, okay, you will definitely do it. Your performance level clearly says that you will do it, but I don't know what it means to be a model. Oh, because the sales have already been released, yes, but I don't think this will be of much help to their Chinese market. Due to the large number of vehicles in China, coupled with the country's preference for affordable prices, many consumers choose to purchase cars at those price points. Consequently, there are numerous BYD models on the roads, with many being driven by Didi drivers and others alike. Hacking Didi won't create a Tesla. No, the Model 3 won't be able to hail Didi.
Hey, it's true when you talk about it. I may call so many Didi cars, but I have never seen a Tesla. To you, most of them are really lower.
When you visit a place that is extremely crowded, you often need to count.
So, can you share what activities you typically engage in during your free time?
What are online ride-hailing services?
It's GACE, yes, it's definitely GAC. I can't quite recall the full name right now, but it typically sells for around 100,000 or so. It's a Model 3, which is priced at about 200,000. So just to clarify, your monthly payment will be at least doubled compared to what you might expect. Yes, that's correct.
So, in fact, there are really too many choices in China. Well, there are many choices when it comes to electric cars. In addition to cars, there are many different choices in China, and there are many different choices on food delivery platforms. But I want to say more. If you are talking about electric cars, we can't just focus on the domestic market in China.
If it is the market in North China, we always think that Chinese electric cars are actually good and very competitive. That is part of it. But don't think it is all about it.
It's not that many.
The whole earth is not that bad. It's the refrigerator, sofa, and washing machine. It's not the refrigerator, sofa, and television.
Are you referring to the car that perfectly meets the specified criteria? No. China's perception and understanding of automobiles are significantly different from that of the rest of the world.
Yes, our requirements are slightly different. Chinese customers value cars that include features like refrigerators, sofas, and TVs, appreciating the added comfort they provide.
Indeed, yes, these items are quite necessary.
Well, perhaps they even believe that the current car model is satisfactory enough for their needs, but aspects such as control, frame stability, driving comfort, safety features, and overall performance may not be their main focus.
I feel incredibly anxious whenever you bring this up. Is it because there are so many campers available for sale in foreign countries? However, the truth is that most campers are actually quite compact and small in size.
Well, what do you have now in China with so many things available?
There are so many.
Yes, I may have seen it before, but what I really want to emphasize is that the Xiaomi car is indeed much closer to being a fully functional vehicle. In fact, if you carefully observe Xiaomi's design philosophy, you will notice how it aligns more closely with this specific car or that other well-known car brand. Additionally, there are numerous mainland brands that we have not yet had the opportunity to experience or interact with, so it may be necessary for us to travel to the mainland first in order to familiarize ourselves with those brands. There are numerous cars that are released featuring some unusual functions or extravagant features, but in reality, these additions do not provide any significant assistance to the driving experience.
Oh, so it is possible that the passenger seat can have a 360-degree rotation. I don't know if there is such a thing. I seem to have seen something like this where you can turn around.
But you see, does Xiaomi even spin in circles like some other brands? Does Xiaomi take pictures vertically alongside you? No, it doesn't have those fancy features or flashing lights or anything particularly extravagant like that. Actually, it doesn't possess such elements, but it places a significant emphasis on the driving experience. In fact, most Xiaomi car owners generally believe that it is a vehicle designed for them to truly enjoy driving, offering a more engaging and fulfilling experience behind the wheel than many competitors in the market.
Yes.
However, this may also enable him to effectively differentiate himself from several of his key opponents in the race.
However, allow me to elaborate. When discussing Europe, it is noteworthy that the continent actually aligns more closely with Xiaomi regarding car preferences and trends. Consequently, you can frequently spot electric vehicles navigating the roads in Europe, particularly those manufactured in China, although they are still somewhat uncommon. This rarity is primarily due to the dominance of more affordable Taiwanese cars in certain market segments.
Well, for example, in some cities in Germany, what kind of cars are actually attractive to them?
First, that you have to be very flat, and second, you have to be good. That's it. I want you to feel Skoda, and then you will be in good shape.
You are Benz and BMW.
Yes. I believe you genuinely want to understand what everyone desires.
Tesla remains a leader in electric cars, but there has been a noticeable anti-Tesla sentiment in the past 6 months, leading to stagnant new car sales.
Also, When you talk about Xiaomi, I saw that they have been showing off before, such as in France and Germany. Yes, but I don't know if their next step will be to expand in these areas. It must be in the Thai market first. Hey, is Germany so Thai?
Yes. Of course it is, but the question is whether you can do it well or not. It would be great if you could earn around 20,000 or 30,000 a month now.
Yes, the Twin Bund Pavilion is really good, and it really does what it says. At least it lets you take a look at its real self to quench your thirst, right?
Aren't you eating while driving a car?
Oh, maybe I'm particularly fond of Xiaomi, so I pay close attention to it.
If you buy directly from mainland China, the price will be much higher. Oh, I see it every single day without fail. I even caught a glimpse of it last week. It's happened so many times before. Oh no, I actually saw the Ultra model. It's the very first time I laid eyes on a real car, but it was just at the auto show.
How is it?
You think this car is not particularly beautiful, but the Ultra actually has the same appearance.
Well, it's just a different piece.
It's very familiar to me, the band, the insurance, the seat, and so on. I mentioned that back when I was queuing in Shenzhen a long time ago, I spotted the Xiaomi S176. After seeing the car up close, I thought to myself, wow, it's truly beautiful, especially the purple one. I expressed that it seemed like the perfect choice for me. Exactly. Apart from the cars you mentioned, there are many types of cars to choose from. And there are also many food delivery platforms. Where are there so many? There are 2 for me, and Hong Kong receives 2 additional ones. What is the full name of Hong Kong? There are additional flower houses in mainland China. Chinese. How about we consider calling each other to arrange delivery? What do you think about us sending items to each other? How about we plan a day to go out together? And what about the kangaroo? To be honest, I've actually never done that before. Liu Qiangdong primarily focused on logistics, so it's not surprising that he ventured into takeaway services. He is also involved in freight operations in Hong Kong.
But it's freight, and food delivery is 2 different things. Just like Labubu and Go Van, they are actually on the same platform. Well, there are some similarities, but it's not inevitable. It doesn't mean that if you learn one thing, you can also do a second thing.
That is, you are giving away goods, food, and things like that.
Yes.
That is to say 58E is here. There is no 58 here, but there is no 58 in Hong Kong. Although it was implemented, the 58E in Hong Kong was withdrawn. It was withdrawn. Many markets still have it. In fact, now it seems that the first one today seems to be 3369, but I don't remember the lead today. Is that truly the case? However, I would like to hear your thoughts on these 2 food delivery platforms. The truth is, everyone seems to have their own views on them. I would like to emphasize that indeed, Meituan offers a variety of services beyond just food delivery, including rental services and ticketing options for events. The services in the hotel are so good, and there are also supermarkets. Hey, but JD.com, you are really competing with them. Recently, they are in the UK. Yes, there is a place like Victoria District in the UK. The Victoria subway station bought a building for 380 million. I don't know if they want to expand. To effectively develop the European market, what specific standards must be met?
Hong Kong dollars amount to 380 million. Oh, I bought the house one. It's a good deal.
I distinctly remember that the amount was either around 1,800 or possibly closer to 1,800,000. Ultimately, I didn't purchase it. I simply decided against it.
The house seller has another seller, Dexiang Real Estate, for $199. I purchased it for approximately £1,800 back in 2016.
Yes, 1850.
£580,000 is £580,000. You've been counting the rebates since 2016, totaling 9 years by 2025. In fact, what you are saying is that you have earned more than double. It has doubled, just doubled.
Are you referring to 189?
Hey, the situation is that the increase is actually synchronized with the market. JD.com uses a market price to buy. But how do you see JD.com now? It may really go to do food delivery. It will be rebuilt in 2021. So you may buy cheap goods from JD.com.
It's 202. People have rebuilt it. Is it 202? So I said that the building is actually very beautiful. Yes, it is new and it looks like a triangle. It is really, I will send you a real thing to see. IPO, I will tell you later. You can wait a while.
JD.com's logistics are costly, raising questions about its overall value. You also want to add the money-burning food delivery business to the mix. What will happen to JD.com? Actually, its stock price is not that high anymore. It's the same as you. No problem.
I have money, so what's there to be afraid of?
Oh, yes. Oh, it's okay to burn some for me when you have time. Ha ha ha.
It is a very auspicious thing. Yes. No, it seems that you have quite a few expenses, but fortunately you still have a substantial amount of money remaining. Yes, there were no issues before. The last time I did something, I observed it carefully. Yes, it transitioned from Jingdong to the mainland successfully.
Otherwise, the system will be dead. Then they said that if your order is more than 20 minutes old and you don't choose to cancel it, they will offer you a cash coupon as compensation. What exactly does that mean? You will receive 3 cash coupons, each offering a discount of $20 when you spend $25, allowing you to purchase a takeaway for just $5.
They keep insisting on this point. Do you genuinely believe they will squeeze out every last cent of that $20? It's clear that they will undoubtedly exploit both the riders and the merchants involved.
Yes, they are actually quite competitive now. For example, JD.com is doing food delivery. Alibaba is a retailer. I don't know what 700 is doing. 1810 is doing cars and new movies, and 3690 is doing online shopping.
However, you are fundamentally a platform, and the essential technology that drives your platform is in fact pairing.
If you match one thing, you'll also match the second.
Well, this is very reasonable. On the contrary, I think you are more worried about JD.com than me. But if you do other matching through 3690, it will be much easier. JD.com is originally an online shopping platform. If you do this kind of matching, you have to invest a lot of money. The market competition is intense, and it's a misconception that only the mainland can access 3690. Alibaba offers it too.
Feeding a hippopotamus is quite simple.
A lot. You open Alipay, which is actually a lot. So under such circumstances, how much money does JD.com have to burn? The question is, just like what Zhenghua said, the channels have them, but they are all good. I would like to ask you, for example, the channels you mentioned, such as Meituan, do they really have so many branches?
It's almost feasible to accomplish this, for instance, managing ticket sales and similar tasks. However, JD.com is already generating substantial revenue through its logistics operations. Now, by collaborating with other companies for these services, you might be unnecessarily spending resources, which means that logistics could potentially consume your own profits, thus reducing overall financial gains. Logistics eats its own money. But he has actually only recently started a business and is now considering whether to launch JD Health. Yes, it's time for dinner. Of course, will it be a little slow? If you put it this way, you see what Gary said just now. Hey, it's really so sharp now. Everything can be like this. You are not just under pressure for health. You also have pressure for the film industry and the city and so on, actually.
Are you truly willing to compete with others in this field? JD.com is certainly not weak when it comes to technology.
Indeed, I assure you, I'm not joking. When compared to Alibaba, JD.com stands out as the weakest channel at 3690, clearly not operating at the same competitive level.
It may not be perfect, but it does not mean that you should not do it. You can do it, and you can do it as required. But the problem is that his thinking has not changed. Well, take a look at what Liu Changdong mentioned recently. He stated that he hopes to have how many full-time riders? A total of 1 million. Is that correct? I expect you to be a platform company, and you and I will become a logistics and asset-intensive company that is getting bigger and bigger. It seems like you are stuck in the last century. The way you do this is that you don't pair up with riders, but ask the riders to come back to deliver the goods. That's why I consistently say that JD.com truly stands out as the most team-oriented company in the industry. My opinion on this matter has not changed at all until now.
On the contrary, I feel like he tends to be a little slow in completing tasks, and his overall strategy doesn't seem to be particularly effective.
It's not just that you are discussing what they do and how they perform their tasks at a higher level, but it's essential to clearly understand the specific methods and techniques they use to achieve those results. His approach differs from that of a platform company emphasizing a distinct methodology. Well, this specific location is truly the most dangerous place. It's not about the type of business he runs. Well, no matter what kind of business you do, it's no problem for you to grab a market. Yes, you don't have to grab it. Yes, sometimes you have some advantages, some differential. Maybe others specialize in the high-end market, and you specialize in the low-end market. You can also specialize in the sinking market without any problem. Well, the problem we face now is that he doesn't engage in conflicts with others in the same manner. There is indeed something fundamentally wrong with his business model, yes.
So I have had a good impression of JD.com from the beginning, even when it was doing the internet. In fact, I have had a good impression of JD.com. If you want to talk about JD.com stock, you must support it. I have a good impression of JD.com as a company, but the problem is that it has been a bit chaotic since the beginning.
I think there is nothing wrong with his strategy. His problem is his thinking. Yes, it is our thinking that makes him unable to make money because of his business model. Or the profit they make is very small. Well, this point is very important, but I don't see the market very clearly. Well, in fact, no one cares about what others say, but we are doing it. How do we estimate JD.com's performance? The reason is that everyone knows that his business model does not work.
I simply don't care about JD.com anymore. I don't possess any additional information regarding it at this time. Conversely, I have observed another stock that is declining. I was quite surprised to see such an exaggerated increase in its ranking recently. It's the motor you referred to earlier, the bubble motor. I have just found someone capable of cutting it out for me.
We are not seeking anyone else, nor are we actively searching for you specifically.
Yes, even if you are in public, you can call us that.
Put it out there for public scrutiny and find someone to help refine it. Seriously.
I want to say, what's wrong with the bubble motor? Is it a lost treasure?
I want to express my feelings. I really want to say it here and now. I don't feel the need to purchase it myself. I'm truly frustrated. And no, I don't have any interest in watching Nicholas C right now. I would have preferred to watch him before instead.
My cousin asked for my assistance and inquired if she could replicate this specific crayon known as Bubu 3.0. However, at that point, the Bubu 3.0 version did not exist. Instead, there was one called Liable 3.0, and interestingly, her name was Bubo. Okay, I didn't take a close look at what the spicy popsicles look like at the time. I just saw this and that. You can see that the blind boxes are from Hong Kong, and you can just split them and pull out 6 of them. You can wait slowly. Will Hong Kong get it first? In mainland China, they are drawn one by one.
Are all 6 different? I can't guarantee anything.
Blind box, the so-called blindness.
I recall that I could purchase a complete set. It's pricier, but honestly, I'm not entirely sure.
It was about $200 as I remember it was. Anyway, this was 6 boxes and the bill was about $700. About $700 for 6 boxes. Absolutely. It's definitely a complete set. Indeed, it's a complete set.
So is one set cheaper or one set cheaper?
If you don't care about it, buying it is already a joke. Initially, I believe it would be straightforward to purchase cigarettes even if I had the money on hand. So I decided to ask another friend for assistance in getting them so I could enjoy smoking. But when I watched Nicholas C., my friend sent me a message saying that he didn't win. So he didn't win. Let me give it another shot. Hey, I didn't win this time, and then my cousin also didn't win. I have other relatives as well, and we all gathered together to look at Nicholas C. Then we all opened our phones and watched the results, but sadly no one won. It turns out winning is really difficult. What's going on here?
Why is drawing so hard?
It's challenging to keep up with the draw, not that you can't.
Are you talking about the hidden version?
No, to put it simply and clearly, you cannot obtain this specific set or that particular set.
Well, one box is not a set. Yes, it's not one box. It's not a set. Hey, he said 6 boxes make a set. Yes, how many are there? Yes, how many are there? Anyway, it's this one. It's a set. That's what he meant.
Just wait and I'll take a look. Just wait and I'll take a look. It turns out that his new series has not been launched yet.
It's already a speculation price. It's already more than 15 times the original price. Well, if you can catch one, that is, if you draw one, you can go out and sell it for $20,500. Let's discuss the hidden version of the United States. No, it's just happening one by one, and no, it's completely normal, yes.
Do you know, you might feel ordinary and worthless in comparison when you meet someone like Kelly. How come? Someone gave me one before, and then I went to Carousel to look at it, and it wasn't worth much at all. Then I gave it to my friend as a gift. It's not that valuable because it may have been out for a while, and then it circulated in the market.
All right.
I think it's similar.
But wow, look, I really didn't look at that cat carefully enough. It turns out it has such a weird and beautiful fur color. It's colorful.
Ryan, what do you know?
Oh, it's a good eye here, and there is one tooth that has a karaoke. But anyway, this one is exposed. I want to ask if it is also a gong lamp.
I find the gong lamp beautiful, just as I initially felt. I think you understand what I mean.
Then it's like, for example, this particular item has both a lock and a key, which signifies security. Meanwhile, there's another item that features a heart design, though I'm not entirely sure what it represents. Okay, yeah, you can definitely watch this one again if you'd like, but the essential information I want to share with you is actually a concealed version of the truth. I'll share a bit of interesting information with you. This particular phone is incredibly spicy in terms of features and performance. I apologize for the somewhat unfortunate choice of words, but it truly embodies high energy. This model, referred to as the 3.0, is dubbed High Energy Ahead. It will officially be available for purchase online in mainland China starting at 10 o'clock on the 24th. That's just a short while from now. It has been significantly hyped up to an impressive $500. In fact, in direct response to this surging interest, the major banks have already raised their target price estimates for PopMart. We have all seen the enticing headlines that reveal the astonishing fact that the market value of PopMart has now exceeded that of Kering, which is the parent company of this cool and trendy brand. This shift highlights the growing influence and popularity of PopMart in the market. Curing, yes. So how much does it cost? Please share what you'd like to say.
It's PopMart. It appears that PopMart has around 2,000 items now. Please check it out right away and wait for me for a moment. Yes, thank you.
Yes, PopMart. Yes, wait for me a while. Where to go? Okay. 2657 is quite the figure, isn't it? A staggering 700 million, huh? It's currently open for discussion. In fact, I've been tightening it all the way up to ensure clarity. It first started to appear on the 24th, and when it did, I was still analyzing the doji pattern. I was particularly eager to observe this one reaching 3.0, which is commonly referred to as an inverted hammer in technical analysis. Blowing your head everywhere.
Yes, well, this one is called this one. Isn't it called a cross star?
When this highly anticipated product was officially put on sale in China, it sold out almost instantly, just as everyone expected. After that, my friends who bought it have actually been able to get it one after another. Some colleagues in Shenzhen must wait until June for the goods to arrive. Some knew I would give them to him, but it's not this one, right? Some fortunate individuals can obtain their items right away, but they must wait in line for 2 hours first. It's the market situation. Another thing is, why did the bank raise its target price to 216, the highest one seems to be? To be honest, it has released its performance this year. The overall performance in the first quarter increased by 1.65% to 1.7% year on year.
The overseas business is quite impressive, showing a growth rate that surpasses the domestic one, particularly in the United States. This may be influenced by phenomena like the Lisa effect or the Rihanna effect.
Because it appears that Rihanna is exclusively releasing the Labubu track. This situation serves as clear evidence that PopMart has an effective strategy and strong capabilities in marketing intellectual property.
Absolutely true. There is currently no other marketing company within the Hong Kong market that specializes in IP marketing. Managing an intellectual property effectively is indeed quite challenging, and that's a well-known fact. Well, for example, if you want to release an RC doll, well, it should sell well, but how you market it may not be as good as PopMart. It's very difficult. So I'm discussing it again today at the same time, because why at the beginning do you really want to release an RSA doll?
Oh, no, it's just that when Crayon Baby was initially released, very few people seemed to care about it and hardly anyone mentioned it at all. However, ever since the talented artist Lisa brought it into the spotlight, the demand has skyrocketed and you can't even get to the end of the long line when you want to buy it, as everyone seems to want one now. Let's simply clarify whether PopMart and MART have successfully chosen Lisa as their spokesperson, and afterward, we can proceed with some targeted online marketing strategies.
You may not be fully aware of the business world.
Well, apart from this, Wendy just mentioned that apart from China, the revenue in China has surged to 9.5 to 1, 9.5% to double, and we don't even include the overseas revenue in China, Hong Kong, and Taiwan. Some large financial institutions have increased their target price to 216. One of the primary reasons for this adjustment is that NAB 3.0 is viewed as a potential short-term catalyst for growth. Furthermore, the US Treasury has also raised its own target price to the same figure of 216, indicating a strong consensus among major players regarding future market expectations. Because this matter is all extremely important, his sales ability in the United States market is notably very strong and impressive. What kind of situation is this? Actually, I vividly remember that you have been discussing this particular topic constantly, the BBK motor, ever since you were in Taiwan and sharing your insights about it.
Glad you're here to discuss it.
Yes, but the challenge we face now is how rapidly he has been rising through the ranks. In addition to the impressive IPs he has developed, there is also Quiet Baby in addition to PopMart. Furthermore, I've noticed that Lisa's Quiet Baby has begun to grow steadily in popularity.
Don't worry about Lisa. Will you buy it or not?
I bought 2 sets at home. If I get one, I'll get CCC first. If I buy 1 set at the beginning, it's too little. I have to buy at least 2 sets. I can't get one. The problem is that I can't get one. What's the matter?
Fill it out on the official website.
You need to draw from the channel and fill in the official website.
What daily tasks do you perform on your computer at work?
Get to work, man. Just cut the video, no need to edit yours. You asked me to return with this PopMart.
Edit the film on one side and fill it in on the other.
You can't say it publicly, just speak on the day.
But no, it has indeed reached an impressive historical high now. In fact, it is steadily increasing slowly every single day.
Why not buy stocks at historical highs or historical lows? Many retail investors lose money by buying stocks at historical lows, hoping for a rebound instead of assessing the market more wisely.
Absolutely, yes. But what you urgently purchase is determined by what the market is willing to offer, yes.
That is, if you like to pick up some things that are abandoned by the world, you can pick up a stray dog and give it to your family, right?
Homey warm meal.
Yes, give it a warm home. You are also called rich. Do the urgent good things. You hold some stocks abandoned by the world and waste your time.
The stock's market value has surpassed 200 billion, reaching exactly 2,000, which is over that amount.
But the pressing question remains, what is the exact amount of his total income? How much does he actually take home as net income?
Let's see.
Oh, wait a minute.
The current profit stands at 3.125 billion, with a predicted price-earnings ratio of approximately 40 times.
Well, because everyone anticipates a seamless 40 times P1 series featuring impressive exponential growth. What exactly does that mean? Wow, the Geely you mentioned is 10 times as much, and the domestic silver is 5 times as much. That's right. These are some of the traditional industries that are really sold to you by the real entities. That's it.
Is the management of intellectual property truly a completely new economy? I can confidently tell you that it's definitely not the case. It's just that their current sales model and channels are relatively new, but this will ultimately help make their network system much bigger.
Well, the most typical and well-known traditional IP operator is Sanrio.
Well, if that's what you truly think, then that's interesting. It's not as if people with your perspective are particularly popular. Many women my age have enjoyed Hello Kitty and continue to adore it for decades, right? Is it because the entire house is completely filled with Hello Kitty decorations, or is it simply due to the green tea loving person?
What does a green tea lover shout?
What's a green tea's name?
Ba?
Oh, Melody. Yes. Ha ha ha. I don't remember your name. Sorry. It's just Samuel. Yes.
Yes, these are actually printed on silver paper.
Its PE is probably 300 times that of Samir listed in Japan.
The purpose of the channel is to utilize the old model in order to acquire various licenses from certain box manufacturers. Indeed, yes. Some of the hard packages even lack drawstrings.
But yes.
Hey, it seems you have earned quite a significant amount of money.
In today's rapidly changing landscape, your business model has evolved, and your rate of expansion is significantly different, and that's what truly matters.
It's somewhat akin to saying that PopMart's prices could be 40 times higher than expected. I believe this is primarily due to the fact that Labubu has not yet sold their intellectual property rights. As of now, I have not seen crayon theme bags available on the market. Since they lack a proper licensing agreement, their licensing rights are still in the process of being transferred and sold, which contributes to the higher cost and makes them relatively expensive.
Well, because your license is still in the early stages of development, I managed to secure the initial profit first.
Well, they make money vertically. They make their dolls themselves. Yes. They are not like Disney, for example. Many of the dolls are not made by themselves. They get licenses from others.
Let other companies handle it. People can purchase licenses through channels to proceed. Oh, okay. Oh, Ming. Yes, Ming.
You might receive a complimentary Happy Meal at some point in the future.
Of course, all the delicious food should definitely be given to Lyson, right?
People who act this way quickly purchase items, similar to how Snoopy or Hello Kitty would buy something like a fish fillet bag. They impulsively grab it and move on, just like Snoopy.
Focus on the system. No, what I'm saying is that if you begin discussing license individually, it appears that there is still a significant level of attraction. This means, in essence, that there remains plenty of opportunity and you can still pursue things further.
In addition to Labubu, there is also a Gucci baby.
There are 1 or 2 dolls that I don't know. Basically, you can't imagine that I would buy a doll and bring it home. Yes, we all have heard of this name.
What? I thought the people you mentioned were all thinking about buying one, but there was no place to put it because I had no money. Yes, it was because there was no place to put it.
But I won't deny that there is indeed someone who likes this particular thing, right? Many people enjoy it for its outstanding qualities, but I won't be purchasing $9.92 despite my inclination to do so. If you take a closer look at the actual numbers, I believe it's actually quite okay.
Well, you see, even we have indeed heard of this popular doll, and it already has 2 distinct versions of it. It also features other various different intellectual properties. Yes.
It's not that I think even I have fallen for it, so it's not expensive. Yes, 40 times is not expensive.
Yes, there are other things, but it just exploded. When you get closer to it, you realize that it didn't just explode. Why? I want to say that it just disappeared from your site since 24 years ago.
Oh, okay. You still remember March of 2024, but we didn't know the front desk at that time. I don't remember it anymore. Anyway, the first time I went to the front desk, I felt that this thing was really good. At that time, it was about $80.
Hey, but I would like to ask why you felt such a heavy burden about this situation at that time.
Because the Hong Kong market is a business model that I value very much. You should be aware of the importance of this business model. The reason why I don't like JD.com is that its business model is not good.
Yes, the reason why I like him so much is because his business model is unique.
Yes, so sometimes when it comes to stock index, economic concept stocks, and IP concept stocks, some people will draw them because actually the TV station wants to collect 5 stocks to put on one page.
Well, but it's actually just Boo Bullock.
All right. Other notable examples such as Bill Gates and Block, yes, or they are discovered through intelligent connections and smart friends. What they imply is that we are consumers of Wonder's products, and we grant free licenses to these intellectual property owners, and subsequently, we manufacture various products.
Well, the various channels generate cash flow, but it is indeed quite challenging to reach the same level of profitability as BMW, yes.
No, if you would like to pursue that option now, it is possible to obtain a license as soon as you can. However, it appears that there are currently not many Popomada products or baby-related byproducts available on the market. I believe that they haven't yet launched it, they haven't had the chance to play it, and they have a lineup ready to showcase it soon. I think you really have a plan. Yes, it is said that Uniqlo has been releasing Pop Mart IP shirts all the time before. Yes, that's right, but I haven't seen these two licenses yet. Yes, I haven't seen these two appear, so there is still a lot of room for imagination. Hello, this is quite a lengthy story. We still have about 4 minutes left to discuss this. Why don't we just get straight to the main point quickly? IPO, but let's discuss 2865 first, although it's not the main topic. The reason is that when I opened our company's app, I noticed that everyone is actually talking about it, including Wanda. Yes, it's not that the atmosphere has gotten much better recently. It's really a lot better. I want to say that many domestic companies have actually come to Hong Kong to participate in IPOs, that is to do IPOs. For example, apart from the 2265, there is also a Heshang Ant, a Shanghai Ant, and the like. There is also this intriguing piece regarding Boraton 1333, which bears similarities to that topic. Given our time constraints, we might as well discuss it first to maximize our understanding.
Yes, to put it simply, it is just a relatively detailed description. Hey, there are indeed relatively few impurities present, and that's absolutely correct. This makes it easy for you to manage the situation. You all understand this concept well, but the others are not aware of it. Ultimately, it's all the same, whether we're talking about old processes or new ones. Before I joined this meeting, some of my colleagues from different teams requested my assistance to support you. I need assistance in increasing my double investment in the channel, as my current amount is insufficient. The costs are too high for me to manage, leading to recent queues. There's a smaller, easier option to start with, and a larger opportunity available for drawing starting today. Silver bars will be accessible until May 2nd, so everyone should note this down on Kuaishou.
The IPO, once completed, will be publicly offered with a price range of 20.4% to 28.6%. It aims to raise up to 1.81 billion, with each lot consisting of 100 shares and a notable entry fee for one lot. 2088 is expected to be listed on May 8th. But we are just a photovoltaic cell manufacturer. In fact, we don't need to look at what they do. We just look at whether they are capable of doing it. We look at what they do purely to estimate what the market thinks of these things.
Yes, it's the one that jumps again. Time is not enough. It's just Shanghai Auntie. That is Shanghai Auntie. Do you think that you should ban these tea beverage companies in this market first?
Yes, before there was a pretty good stock price of Meituan Group. Yes, there is a great chance of market ban. Yes, and I want to add some details to this, which is what we talked about when we were chatting with each other before we came in. Actually, I haven't seen such a cross-border e-commerce in mainland China. It may be in Shanghai. Well, Shanghai is probably near Shanghai or East China. We don't see such a surprising number in the whole country. Actually, I looked at the data, 1,176. At the same time, the most important thing for us is to look at its business model. For example, do you see a bunch of 2165 or something like that in Hong Kong? It has risen for a while, but you can't follow it.
Yes, the reason I do this is because he really wants to run this kind of tea shop.
But if your Meituan Group doesn't work, the most important thing for me is to open a company and sell machines, wait for people to come, put my brand out there and run the business, and then they will be printing money for me because they will buy my equipment and raw materials. Franchise is a model similar to McDonald's or 7-Eleven, but more like McDonald's. Or because you have to go straight to the same channel for the materials, so tie it up and tie it up. In fact, the aunties in Shanghai also follow a similar pattern.
I'm just worried about the same thing. That is, why should I choose a Five Senses hotel? I'm just worried about whether the last speed is fair or not.
Hey, but what you said also has another risk, right? Hey, hi, I bought the operating rights from you. But if you can't do it, or maybe you make a mess of it, it actually involves the success or failure. What does it mean? First of all, you can only do what you want. If you don't make money, you can't go out and sell space tours. Yes, you can't go out and sell cigarettes.
That is to say, he may not follow our instructions. No, you have to sign a member. If the franchise wants to sign a member, you have to follow our SOP completely.
Yes, that's right. So this risk is controllable. But the biggest risk is that if you are a franchisee, you have to choose a franchise company.
How do you choose it when I eat it? I just want to open a shop to sell pearls. What are they called?
It's a tea, drink, a handshake, and beverage.
I just want to sell these. I would have two questions. First, is there a high chance that it can be sold? Second, is the cost I have to pay high? But once it comes to costs, what methods will Chinese companies use? Roll it up.
Yes.
In fact, Mixue Bingcheng is so popular now.
Mixue Bingcheng, I've heard of it. Mixue Bingcheng was launched together with other people. It became a signature brand and one of theirs. Now it is still at this stage, but it has not yet reached the franchise level.
Well, but I think there is a good chance that this industry will get this kind of volume.
I have told you some information. This Shanghai auntie seemed to say that it was a person who said that she would go to May 2nd and you could draw lots. In addition, it is planned to issue 2.413 million H shares. The IPO price ranges from 95.57 cents to 113.12 cents. The maximum amount of funds raised is 270 million, which is much less than the initial 260. The entry fee for each lot of 30 shares is 3,27.8 yuan. These are all estimates. This stock was oversubscribed when it was listed on May 8th. In fact, the subscription on the market has exceeded 133 times. This is just a trick to increase the stock's trading quota. So if there are two, why not both?
Why not both? It's just a draw of horse money. What's the big deal?
Yes, you guys can wait and see. In addition, on May 8th, there will be 2 cross cards. There is also one, but I don't have much time to share it with you. So forget it. Yes, forget it. We can only wait and see the dark market performance next week on May 7th.
Haha, I'll check the dark market next week, right?
Yes, let's take a look at the dark market performance. Well, the time for today is almost up. Thank you so much for coming. If there is something you want to know or want to communicate with us again, you can leave a message on the message board under the video. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we will see you all at the next time. Goodbye, Wednesday.